Hey guys, it's Jen here from Nails by Jen. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome to my channel. So today's video is going to be another watch me work, and I am going to create this fun, colorful animal print design. There is a little bit of glitter, there is some gold foiling, and also, of course, some bright, fun leopard print. So if this is something you're interested in, stick around and keep watching. As always, don't forget to click that like and subscribe for me. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below, and let's get started. Alright guys, so to start off, I am removing her old top design. So this was not a design that I did. She actually ended up going to another salon that I had recommended because I was going to be away. So she went there and she saw a gal by the name of Amanda who does some amazing work. And Amanda has really helped me out when I have taken time off work, and she has helped me out, with taking my clients, and she does such a good job. So thank you, Amanda. Shout out to you. So as I said, I'm just going to go in and remove all of the top design. Now you will notice that I have switched back to my cylinder bits, and that is simply because the other shape one that I have, it's more of a cone shape with a flat end. I absolutely love that. Those bits ended up getting dull, and the place that I actually get them at in Pittsburgh did not have any in stock. So I went back to my old school cylinder bit, but I do absolutely prefer that cone shape with the flat tip. So if you guys have any recommendations as to where to get them, the other ones that I had were extra coarse, I believe, and I just loved them, you guys. So hit me up in the comment section and let me know if you guys have any of the cone shape with the flat tip bits that you get and where to get them. So as I said, again, I'm just going through and removing all of the color off of all 10 fingers, and then we're going to get into pushing the proximal nail fold back so that I can start filing them into shape and getting them prepped for the acrylic application. Alright, so the next step, guys, like I said, is to go in with my cuticle pusher, and I'm pressing back that proximal nail fold so that I can expose the cuticle. So I always like to mention, because we are still, a lot of us referring to this process as pushing the cuticles back. Now the skin and the white stuff that you see on top of the natural nail that is being kind of scraped, it is the cuticle. The tissue that I am pressing back is actually the proximal nail fold. So just a little tip for you, if you're still saying pushing the cuticles back, that's not really the right way to say it. So I'm going to go through and finish off with this thumb here, and then I'm going to go in with my hand file. So I keep all of my clients' hand files all in separate envelopes with their names on them. So when I go to do a fill, the hand file that I use is a 100/100 grit, but by the time I go to do a fill, that file is actually not quite as gritty, so I am able to use it on the natural nail without causing damage. So I am going in and I am pre-shaping my nails. You guys, this really helps when you go to lay your acrylic, and then you don't have as much finish filing to do if you get the nails into a good shape before applying your product. I'm also just going on top of the nail, and if there is any little bits of lifting, I am feathering those out or feathering them away and blending them, and I'm also just roughening up slightly that natural nail. So she also wanted the sidewalls tapered in a little bit more to create more of a coffin shape. So you can see here, I'm just going along that sidewall and I'm just going in straight. So there is a difference, you guys, between coffin shaped nails and ballerina nails. So coffin have a straight sidewall. You're basically keeping it very straight, whereas ballerina has more of a curved sidewall. Think about if you did an almond nail and you just blunted off of the tip. So it would still have that curve curved sidewall with the blunt tip, whereas a coffin is a straight sidewall. It looks just like the picture of like a cartoon coffin. You guys all know what that looks like. And same with a ballerina slipper. You guys know it has a little bit more curve on the side. So something to keep in mind. When a client comes in, I always confirm what shape they want, because sometimes, actually most times, when a client comes in and says they want a certain shape, they actually mean something else. I've had lots of clients who come in and say they want ballerina, but what they actually want is coffin. Or I've had a lot of clients come in and say, I want squoval or scround, but really what they want is square with rounded corners instead of squoval, because as far as I'm concerned, squoval has more of a little bit of a rounded top and it is very natural looking. So just keep that in mind when your clients come in. When they tell you what shape they want, sometimes I will just draw it on a piece of paper, or the best thing and what I want to do is actually print out a form with some shapes on it. That way I can just pull that out and they can just tell me exactly what shape they want, and I can educate them on what the shape is called. So I'm going to continue filing and just pre-shaping these nails and get them ready again for some acrylic application. And the next step is to remove the cuticle from the nail plate. So I'm just going in with my favorite little cuticle bit called the micro taper from Erica's. I get this at the Pink Chair. And I am just going in very, very lightly, and I am just filing off. You can see all of that white stuff just flaking off. So something to keep in mind when you are using a cuticle bit like this, you want to make sure that you keep it very flat to the natural nail. You don't want to be holding it at an angle pointing into the nail or digging into the nail. We know accidents happen, but do your very best to just take your very, very, very good time to go through and go very lightly. And I just go along the left side of my client's finger first, and then I go back and I go from the center down the right side. That's just what works for me, but a lot of people do prefer to change their EFILE into the reverse motion and do the other side. This is just what works for me, so do what works for you. And the next thing I'm going to do is go in with my nippers, and I'm just going to nip off anything that is basically white and dead or kind of poking up. You can see there's a little piece there that I wanted to get off. I'm actually going to be taking a course coming up here in July, and I am going to be learning a Russian style EFILE manicure. I am really nervous, you guys, because the idea of cutting off a lot of skin really trips me out. And I hate even seeing the videos. We've always been taught in school not to cut live tissue, and a lot of these videos that I see, they do that. So I'm really curious to see what this instructor is going to show me, and yeah, I'm just really curious to see what her technique is, and I'm very excited to take this course. It has been a few years, you guys, since I have taken any type of a program, and I always have recommended to people that you should at least once a year take some type of a class, and I have just fallen off of that wagon for about 3 to 4 years now. So I'm really excited for this class. So also I have gone in now and I have cleansed the nail, and I am just now adding 2 layers of my Young Nails Protein Bond. So if you guys are new to my channel, you will notice that the brush of the bottle that I'm using does not look like the protein bottle brush, and that is because I hate that little brush so much with a passion. So I actually have decanted the Protein Bond into a different bottle. All right, you guys, so I'm getting into the acrylic application now. This is a custom mix, you guys. I do not have measurements, and I am kicking myself in the butt for not making measurements because I absolutely love this color, and when I have to remake it, I have to kind of wing it. So I will try next time I mix it up to keep track of the measurements, because it is just the most perfect color for sculpting out a nail. I use this on every client. I don't use this when I am doing my faded French. I do prefer my faded French to have just a little bit more of a peach tone, and it's a little less transparent. So this is very, very sort of a milky pinkish white. And the reason that I love this is especially when you are doing colors that generally you would want to put a white background, this sort of serves that purpose. So in the past, I would build my nail in like a white or a milky white nail if I was doing, say, a neon yellow gel polish that, you know, you just needed that white background for the color to really pop. But then when that client comes back for a fill, I would have to file out that white acrylic, which was a pain in the butt. So this is kind of a perfect in-betweener. So when they come back for a fill, if they are wanting a different color or they want to even just show the natural nail and do a French, for example, say a pink French tip, I can still do this color. Then I apply my favorite semi-transparent pink color, which is P2039 from the from Canada Nail Supplies. It's a purple professional gel polish. So I would add a layer of that, and then you could do your tip color and it would still look very natural. So you guys, I'm sorry, again, I don't have the exact measurements, but I know that I used clear acrylic, all from Young Nails. I used the bubblegum pink acrylic, and I used, I believe, the Cover pink also, and I just kind of, and a little bit of white. So I just kind of mixed it up till it looked like that. So again, next time I make the mix, I will try to write down the measurements and not forget to do that so I can share it with you guys. So I'm just going through all 10 fingers, and I am basically just doing an overlay of her natural nail. And because we've got that shape really, really good in the beginning, as you can see, I won't have a ton of filing to do. All right, guys, so I am going underneath her nails because some of her nails do start to hook down and they are starting to separate a little bit under that tip. So I am just going in with this toothpick bit is what I think it's called. Now, you guys, I have actually had this bit for a very, very long time, and I don't know why I stopped using it. And I just happened to notice this day and grabbed it and was like, oh, I'm going to just use this one. And I freaking love this one. I would like to find some more like this. I don't know where I got this one, but it just is so perfect of a size to get in there without, you know, harming the client's skin or heating up or anything. And it's very sharp, so it cuts really nicely through the acrylic. So I'm just going in all of the nails. Look at her pointer there, you guys. You can see how I had to build it really, really thick at the tip. That way I can cut out underneath and straighten it up. I do have a couple of other videos where I go more in detail on that in the Watch Me Work videos, but you can see here I'm just kind of cutting out underneath anything that looks dirty and detached, and also making sure that I am thinning out that tip so that it's not a big chiclet. And then I'm going to go in with the hand file and I'm going to do all of my finish filing. So I'm also going back in with the Erica's Micro Taper, and I'm just going all along this proximal nail fold here, you can see, and I'm just smoothing out and making sure that there isn't a big hump anywhere so that when it grows out, it's just got a nice smooth transition. And then we're going to finally get into applying all of our colors. So this is another favorite of mine from the Purple Professional Company. This is P2074. It's pretty much the exact same sort of consistency or sheerness, I should say, as P2039, only this one has more of a peach or nude hue, whereas P2039 is definitely more of a pink. I have almost gone through 2 bottles already of the P2039 because I am obsessed with it. So you can see as I add it over top of that custom mix acrylic, it just looks so perfect. It's like perfect for any type of French, any type of nail where you want to see a bit of that natural nail sort of peeking through. This is the perfect way to do that. And then again, when the client comes in for a fill, I don't have to take that color out. So I've got all of the colors I'm using out here on my palette from Madame Glam. This one is called Neon Sun, and then the green one is Green Highlighter. And these are the ones that I'm talking about that you would want to normally put the white behind. So the teal is called Boat Trip, the pink is called Floris, and then this one is called the Rule Maker. All fun colors. And I am also going to be using the Born Pretty white stamping gel. It's called White Lotus. I love their stamping gels. They are extremely thick, but they're perfect for adding to colors. So one of my tricks is to add a little bit of white to these sort of transparency highlighter colors. That also makes them go on a lot better, and then you don't have to worry about adding a white underneath. And I'm using this brush. These are my favorite brushes, you guys. I get these, I believe, at AliExpress. So what I'm doing after I have cured the P2074, that sheer color, I am actually cleansing the nail, because the one thing about the Purple Professional gel polishes that I noticed that is very different than every other gel polish company that I have used is their dispersion layer is extremely wet. It's not even sticky. It's just really wet. So I find if you don't remove the dispersion layer or that tacky layer, the colors that you apply on top will kind of bleed. So I'm taking the yellow now, as you can see, and I am just applying it to the tip, and you can see it's not sheer at all because I have added the white to it, plus because it's on top of that sort of semi-transparent pinkish color. So I'm just going to go in with all the colors, and I'm just sort of doing the same thing at an angle, sort of as a very wavy kind of line. It's not a straight line, and I'm curing in between each nail. So now for the leopard, I'm actually mixing a little bit of Madame Glam's Perfect Black with the Born Pretty Black Stamping Gel. Again, because the Born Pretty Stamping Gel, it is so thick, you guys, that sometimes I do find it a little hard to work with. You have to work extremely slow. So a little trick is to just thin it out with a gel polish, like the Madame Glam Perfect Black, and then I find it just applies a lot easier and quicker. Another thing that you can do if you are in a real hurry, which I have done a ton of times, is I used to always use acrylic paint when I was doing nail art way back in the day, and the black acrylic paint, it applies really, really fast, and you just have to have a little bit of dry time. But that's another thing that I will do if I'm in a super hurry. I will literally just use acrylic paint still. So I'm just going in and creating my little leopard print. So how I do this is I have a specific brush that I use for this because your brush will get bent. I use it in a dotting motion. As you can see, I'm just kind of going up and down, and so it does bend the tip of the brush. So like I said, you want to have one designated for this. And I just do little circles and little C's and little dots, and then just go back in and kind of fill in little areas. Leopard print and zebra are one of the most favorite designs that I love to do, and they are so quick and easy. And like zebra, you can do it in so many different ways. It's just a phenomenal, or they are, I should say, just phenomenal ways to do nail art, and they will never go out of style as far as I'm concerned. Alright guys, so next I went in with some alcohol and I just wiped the nails. The reason for this is because I am going to be adding some foil and some foil gel, and the only thing that I want to have any tack to it is the foil gel. So I'm using the Glitter Mix Canada foil gel. I really love their foil gel, you guys. And I'm just using a liner brush, and I'm just going along the edge of each color that I have done on the nails with the two sections of color. I'm doing the same thing. I'm just going along them, and then I'm curing for 40 seconds. And then I am sticking the foil. So I was just testing it out on the pinky first to make sure that everything worked before I went ahead and did the rest of the nails. So now I am going to do the rest of them. So next up, we wanted to add a little bit of glitter, and I love this one called Rainbow Rocks from Glitter Mix Canada. If you do not have this one, you need it for summer. It is one of the best summer glitters ever. So there's matte glitters in there, there's iridescent glitters, there's gold, I think. I can't even remember, but there's a lot going on. So I just wanted to add a little bit of the glitter dots, or excuse me, the hexagons, to the nails that have only the corner colored. So as you can see, I'm just kind of picking them up, and then I'm just kind of playing with them and moving them around, trying to make sure that they are as flat as possible. I'm adding different sizes. This is a little bit time consuming because you just kind of have to play with them, and sometimes I just kind of go back and forth and pick up dots, but I'm only doing it on a couple of nails, so it really wasn't that bad. She was only here for, I think, an hour and 45 minutes, so really not that bad all in all. And you just want to make sure that the glitter is laying as flat as possible so that when you do put your top coat on, you don't have a ton of what I like to call pokey outies. So just make sure you try to lay them as flat as possible before you get them into the light to cure. And now it is finally time to top coat. So when I do glitter on top, so when I do glitter not encapsulated but on the top design, you can see here I kind of run a bead of the top coat down the center of the nail after I have covered the whole nail in a thin layer. Then I get the client to flip her hand upside down just for a few seconds before she puts it into the light flat, so the right side up. So again, you can see I'm doing the same thing here. And then she puts her hand in the light, and I always warn the client that it is probably going to get hot because it's a little bit thicker. So then once I get all of the top coat applied to every single nail, and I will do each nail one at a time, and I'm even adding a little extra gel, as you can see, to the nails with the foil because the foil is a little bit bumpy because of the foil gel. So once I get all of the top coat on, then what I do is just kind of run my fingernail or a tool over to see if anything is poking out. If there is anything poking out, I will buff it or file it a little bit and add another layer of top coat. And here they are, you guys. I'm obsessed. I love them. They totally give me 80s vibes with the bright colors and the leopard print. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I appreciate you guys hanging out and watching another Watch Me Work video with me. And as always, guys, have an amazing day.